We have the acting Chief Justice here today.
No, I'm not acting. I'm the Deputy Minister of Justice.
Deputy Minister of Justice, sorry about that. So, can you give us an overview of this reform sector strategy that is being launched today?
Well, I mean, this is really part of the President's broad vision to reform public institutions in this country. And so, on the President's re-election, he made that one of his priority projects, and he tasked us. He gave us the task to really develop a strategy that will articulate his vision for reform of the justice sector in this country over the next several years. And so that is what we are launching today. It is a product of broad consultations across the country. It is a product of expert perspectives, from various people in the justice sector institutions, for other experts even out of this country. It also reflects, what people who are affected by the justice system, in and out of the capital Freetown, especially in rural communities, what they have to, what they expect, when we talk about justice delivery. It actually puts people at the center of the justice delivery process, makes this about the people. A justice system should be able to respond to the needs of the people, and that is what this strategy has sought to do. So it's really in line with the President's vision to put the people at the center of the reform process.
Okay, so we know most times when they are reforming a whole institution, there might be because of some challenges that people, because the justice sector is for the people, maybe people have been expressing. So what prompted this reform?
Well, of course, we all accept that there are very many challenges with the justice system in the country. We're the first to admit that. We also know that people have various justice needs that need to be met. There is definitely a huge gap between people's justice needs and the justice delivery process. So that actually prompted our investment in this reform process. So one that will make the institution work for the people, the justice system work for the people. One that will also build up public confidence among members of the public in the justice system. But really noting that the percentage of the population that engages with the justice system through the courts is small. There's a significant percentage that engages with the justice system outside the court system. And so we have tried to cater for all of those. And that is what we mean when we say we've put people at the center at the center of our reform process. It is called people-centered approach to justice.
Okay, so just as you, because over the years, as we go out, you hear some incidents that happen, and you hear people say they don't have confidence in the justice system. And with this now, because I saw one of the flyers, and which is saying modernizing the laws of the land. So with this strategy, will it add the confidence of people to the justice system in Sierra Leone?
But of course, we're going to modernize archaic laws, or outdated laws as we call them. You've all heard about the Criminal Procedure Act, which is one of the highlights of today's program, which the President has actually, signed into law, and then of course, that announcement will be made today, and our practice of the criminal justice system will be under the regime of a new Criminal Procedure Act, which actually caters better to the needs of the people. So we hope that this reform process will be owned by the people. It will be participating as we implement it. We'll raise awareness about it, and as we implement it, we'll make sure that it really caters to the needs of the people.
Okay. Lastly, before you go, what are maybe like two specific areas that this reform will target?
I'll go over two. It has four broad objectives. One is ensuring that there's increased access to justice. Two is ensuring that there's effective case management for expedited justice delivery. Three is ensuring that we strengthen human rights and the rule of law. And four is ensuring that we strengthen justice sector institutions for effective service delivery.
Thank you so much for talking to us. All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Your name again?
My name is Alpha Sise. I'm the Deputy Minister of Justice.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Alpha Sise, the Deputy Minister of Justice, who was just given an overview of the sector reform strategy that will be launched today by the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, which he says has four broad strategies. And also, this, according to him, is a people's-centered strategy. And because over the years, we've been seeing people, and as we go about expressing, a lot of people have been saying they don't really trust the justice system, but according to the minister, this strategy will help to improve that mindset and the perspective. And anytime from now, we'll be able. So the president has just arrived, and now we are joining the program, and maybe later on we'll also try to get other people who we can talk to in relation to the program here today. So let's join the program as the president has just arrived here at the Brookfields Hotel.
Please be seated. Your Excellency President, the Acting Chief Justice, the Chief Minister, Ministers of Government, Executive President, will now commence the official launch of the Justice Sector Reform Strategy. And may I now invite a man who has put his heart and soul from the launching to the planning and mobilization to where we are today. Mr. Alpha Sise, the Deputy Minister of Justice, who will be the moderator for the launch. Mr. Alpha Sise. A round of applause, please.
Your Excellency, President, President Dr. Chief Minister, the Acting Chief Justice, Attorney General, United Nations Resident Coordinator, Ministers of Government, diplomats, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Before we get into the program this morning, I'd like to call for opening prayers. And for the opening prayer, we will call on the Honorable Mr. Justice Amir Mohammed Al-Haji Mohammed Stevens, Justice of the Court of Appeal.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما كثيرا. We pray for the blessings of our nation. Pray for the health of our President, His Excellency Dr. Julius Richard here, Madabio. Pray for his health. A nation will only prosper when you have a healthy leader and healthy people. We pray for the thank and bless the office of the Attorney General for the work well done, because we know when there is justice, Sierra Leone will prosper. We shall rise and read this very powerful Quranic verses from the Holy Quran. Let's rise. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Wa in tubdu ma fi anfusikum aw tukhfuhu yahsubukum Allah. Fa yaghfiru liman yasha'u wa yu'adhibu man yasha'u. Wallahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. Amana rasulu bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minun. قُلُوا آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِنْ رُسُلِهِ وَقَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا غُفْرَانَكَ رَبَّنَا وَإِلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا لَهَا مَا كَسَبَتْ وَعَلَيْهَا مَا اكْتَسَبَتْ رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَّسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا رَبَّنَا وَلَا تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْنَا إِصْرًا كَمَا حَمَلْتَهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِنَا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Amen. Before we sit, let's just remember, according to the Holy Quran, that in the days of Prophet Abraham, a nation will only prosper with hard work and prayers. We see hard work being invested by His Excellency leading the nation. So let us have that in mind, that the goodwill of the President, which is hard work that we have been calling for. Let us all join that development to bring Sierra Leone to a prosperous nation. When it's healthy, everyone is going to be healthy, and Sierra Leone is going to be prosperous. Ameen al-Fatih. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. Let's celebrate.
Thank you very much, Amir. And for the Christian prayer, we now call on Apostle Maurice Sanfa, National Head, Church of Pentecost.
Let us pray. Let's rise up, please. Our Father, we thank you, we honor you, we give you praise, we give you glory, and we give you adoration. You are our source. It is documented in the Holy Writ that every good and every perfect gift comes from you, the Father of light, with whom there is no variableness and shadow of turning. God, we believe in you. That's why we are here. We acknowledge your presence. We acknowledge your power. We acknowledge your providence. Bible says, let us seek your will, and let us put you first. If we put you first, all things will be added. We believe righteousness exalts the nation. You've given us men that has brought profitable input, God, to move this nation ahead. So God, we come before you. Let the heavens be open. Everything that they've done, my Father. Bible says, God, many are the differences in the heart of America, but nevertheless, your counsel will stand. God, we are here for your counsel to stand in our beloved nation. Bible says, let us buy the truth and sell it not. We are here, oh God, to sustain, my God, justice in every sphere of our nation. We are here, oh God, to release, my God, order in this of our beloved nation. So, oh God, we evoke your presence. We evoke your power. We evoke your providence. We evoke your preservation over our nation. We submit everything that is going to be done here today, that it will be done in your will. Thank you, God, because we believe you've answered. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. Thank you very much. Now we'll get into the program proper. I'd like to note that there have been slight modifications to the agenda, specifically relating to the last item on the agenda, but that's will be noted by His Excellency President himself. Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Ladies and gentlemen, following His Excellency's re-election in June 2023, we were tasked with putting a reform process in place for the justice sector. And so, we were tasked with the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice. And the President sees this as part of his legacy, and we have made a deliberate commitment to deliver on that legacy. When we sat with the President, he gave us his marching orders. In specific terms, he said to us that as we develop this strategy, we should be informed and be guided by our humanity. He noted that, yes, we are politicians, but we are human beings first. In his words, let this reform be about the people. Put the people at the center of the justice process. He also noted that we are in governance for a short period. We will leave these offices at some point. And in his words, again, he said, I want a justice system that will work for me as an ordinary person. This strategy is a product of that guidance from His Excellency the President. So the Sierra Leone Justice Sector Reform Strategy, which will be launched this morning by His Excellency the President, was developed in a participatory and consultative process. This was actually to ensure that there is sector-wide ownership by all institutions involved in the justice delivery chain. The process itself involved first conducting desk review of various justice sector documents. The findings from these reviews were consolidated to come up with the underlying issues which form the basis of consultations with sector institutions. The next phase, we conducted a series of wide-ranging consultations where various stakeholders and representatives from sector institutions were engaged in the process to gather strategic inputs. A technical working group was constituted, which included senior level and technical staff from the relevant justice sector institutions. Civil society groups were part of it, and academic institutions. And then, of course, we had several technical workshops. And these workshops were really vital to assessing the strengths, challenges, and opportunities in the justice sector. Consultations and validation meetings were held with the leadership team in government, comprising the Chief Minister, the Chief Justice, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the Commissioner Anti-Corruption Commission, other ministers whose ministries are part of the justice delivery chain. And also to note that the Ministry of Political and Public Affairs has been central to this process as part of government's efforts to improve the justice sector, the public sector. The Justice Sector Coordination Office, which is headed by Mr. Shai Koji, has been the home for the development of this strategy and for consultations on the Criminal Procedure Act. We're grateful to the UNDP for its technical and financial support for these two institutions. And once we had a draft of the document itself, we shared this with external partners for input and feedback. These include the Open Data Institute and other members of the Justice Action Coalition. The feedback we got was that this strategy and the way it has been developed is actually a gold standard for justice sector-wide policy making and planning. So this is the product of these broad consultations that we are here to launch today. And I'd like to really note at this point the crucial role that civil society has played in this process, both in the context of discussions around the strategy as well as the Criminal Procedure Act. And it is at this point that we'll move into statements from various actors who have been crucial to this process, starting with civil society. I'll call on Mr. Ibrahim Zoni.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sisi, Your Excellency, President, Brigadier Dr. Osman Abiyo, Chief Minister, Attorney General, Minister of Justice. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I bring you greetings from the Center for Accountability and the Law and the wider civil society family in Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, I'm truly honored for the opportunity to speak at the launch of this strategy. It is the 5th generation of the justice sector strategy. But I have to say at the outset that it is unique in many respects, not just in terms of the broad consultation, but the content of this strategy. I became the Executive Director of Center for Accountability 13 years ago. And in that time, and especially in the last 6 years, Your Excellency, we have seen significant changes in the delivery of justice services. In addition to the recruitment of additional judges and magistrates, which now means that every district has at least one magistrate, and more judges have now been assigned to the provinces. We have also seen additional funding to justice sector institutions, including the Judiciary. We have also seen increases in the salaries of judges and court staff. In this, I am discussing because I see a few eyes rolling in front of you. That is not to say that our judges and magistrates are happy with their salaries. They definitely need more. But we have to recognize that in the last 13 years, since I became the head of CAB, we have seen significant changes in their salaries, in the number of judges and court staff that we have recruited. In addition, Your Excellency, Mr. President, to make justice services more accessible and fair, we have also made several legal reforms, such as the Bill Regulations 2018 and the recently passed Criminal Procedure Act which I understand you will sign into law today, Mr. President. I am truly, truly grateful for your commitment to our collective effort to deliver justice to the people of Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, these efforts, and in particular the fact that the Criminal Procedure Act will be signed into law today, demonstrates your government's commitment to address the justice needs of Sierra Leoneans. Having said that, Your Excellency, the job is not yet done, which is why, in fact, we launched the strategy. Many challenges persist. In addition to delays in court proceedings, some which are as a result of genuine challenges that the judges and magistrates face. We also have serious challenges with effective identification of bail applications. And there is still a persistent public perception about the police and the judiciary, despite the best efforts of our police officers and our judges. There is certainly need, Your Excellency, to increase investment in the delivery of primary justice services. We have about 350 local courts in this country. At the moment, Your Excellency, they are not functioning effectively. And that is because we really need to provide additional funds to the judiciary. Accordingly, Your Excellency, I'd like to use this opportunity to urge your government and our development partners, many of whom are present here today, to invest in this strategy and ensure that it is fully implemented. Without an effective and credible justice system, Your Excellency, we cannot achieve your government and our country's development aspirations, much less sustain the gains that we have made over the last decade or so. To do so, Your Excellency, would require collaboration among partners. There is need to deploy technology. There is obviously need for genuine commitment and increased investment in rolling out this strategy. We have a collective responsibility to implement this strategy because an effective justice system is the bedrock of a prosperous democracy. In closing, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, let me use this opportunity to thank you, Mr. President, the officials of your government, especially the Attorney General Minister of Justice and his team, including the Deputy Justice Minister, who have worked collectively, effortlessly with our partners, as well as civil society organizations, in putting this strategy together. It is indeed a product of months of consultation and collaboration, and I hope that spirit will accompany its implementation. Finally, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to pledge on behalf of my colleagues in civil society our willingness and commitment to work with the government of Sierra Leone and its development partners in implementing not just the strategy, but the Criminal Procedure Act, which will be signed into law today, including by supporting fundraising initiatives as well as monetary implementation. Once again, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tommy. I'd like to note that Mr. Tommy was the secretary to the committee that worked on the Criminal Procedure Act to its conclusion. And I'd also like to note that when you go through the strategy after the president was launching this morning, and look at some of the strategic objectives, specifically looking at increased equal access to justice for all. One of the key policy areas that we have identified is the work of non-state actors in attending civil society who provide access to justice services in civil, criminal, and family matters. So we see civil society partners as a crucial part of our efforts to implement this strategy. I'd also like to note that in discussions with His Excellency when we put this together, we all acknowledge that the percentage of the population that engages with the justice system through the court system is small. A significant percentage of our population engages with the justice system outside the court system. And so this strategy, which is actually launched this morning, really plans to make significant investments in that so we are able to close the justice gaps and ensure that we increase access to justice for all. Next, I'd like to get the United Nations Resident Coordinator to make a statement. development partners have been a crucial part of this process. Significant support for this has really come from UNDP, both for the development of the strategy and the criminal procedure act itself.
Your Excellency, President Retired Brigadier Julius Madalio, Honorable Chief Minister, Acting Chief Justice, Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Ministers of Government, Excellencies, representatives of international community, distinguished representatives of state institutions, my UN colleagues and representatives of civil society, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to join you all today, representing the United Nations family in Sierra Leone, to attend the launch of the 5th generation of the Justice Sector Reform Strategy and Investment Plan for 2024-2028. This launch is primarily following the recent unveiling of the National Security Strategy of Sierra Leone last month. There is a broad consensus that reforming the justice and security sector is crucial for consolidating peace and essential for accelerating the 5 game changers of the government. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the United Nations welcomes the government of Sierra Leone's recognition of the importance of an inclusive and accountable justice system and strengthened security institutions as outlined in the new medium-term National Development Plan covering 2024 to 2030. Today's launch of the Justice Sector Reform Strategy signifies a bold commitment to advancing effective, inclusive, transparent, and accountable justice service delivery that should serve the interests of all, irrespective of race, tribe, sex, place of origin, and political opinions. Over the years, the UN in Sierra Leone has established itself as a credible partner of the government of Sierra Leone, working collaboratively with numerous partners at both the national, local, and with civil society to support policy, legal, and system reforms across various sectors, including the justice sector. For instance, UNDP funded the development of the last 2 justice reform strategies, and the current one being launched today, complementing other funding sources through a multi-stakeholder approach. UNICEF has also provided support to the juvenile justice aspects of the reform, and the UN Women and other UN agencies have supported implementation of different aspects of the justice sector. The strategy, which is launched today, will support the legal services to enhance access to justice, mobile courts, institutional and technical capacity building, public engagement on legal rights, promoting accountability and oversight, among other initiatives. Implementing the strategy will require concerted efforts and collaboration from all sectors of society, demanding investment not only in financial terms, but also in human resources and dedication. It will be important to maintain an inclusive and participatory approach during the implementation phase, and the UN in Sierra Leone remains committed to continue working with government and all other partners to make it happen. As the country embarks on this journey, let us remember that the true measure of success will be seen in the lives of the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized population. It's therefore important to remain steadfast in the commitment to uphold the rule of law and justice and equity, knowing that the concerted efforts from all stakeholders will build a stronger, more just Sierra Leone for current and future generations. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, UNRC. And of course, when we talk about the justice sector and implementing the strategy, there will be significant investments in the courts. And it is on that note that I'll call on the acting Chief Justice to make a statement on behalf of the acting Chief Justice.
I'm making this statement on behalf of the acting Chief Justice out of the jurisdiction for official matters. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, honorable ministers here present, my lords and distinguished members of the Judiciary, the Chief Minister, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, our development partners, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a distinct honor and privilege for me to deliver this speech on behalf of the acting Chief Justice of the Republic of Sierra Leone at this momentous occasion, the launch of the Sierra Leone Justice Sector Reform Strategy. Today, we stand together in unity and shared purpose to witness a critical step forward in our nation's pursuit of justice, equality, and the rule of law. The Justice Sector Reform Strategy represents not only a roadmap, but a bold commitment to ensuring that justice is accessible to all, irrespective of status, wealth, or background. It's a collective pledge to safeguard the rights of every Sierra Leonean and to strengthen the structures that underpin our democracy. The judiciary, as a cornerstone of our democracy, welcomes this reform strategy. We recognize that justice cannot flourish in isolation, and a well-coordinated and transparent justice sector is essential for national stability, peace, and progress. This reform will address key challenges such as access to justice, efficiency in the administration of justice, and protection of human rights, while reinforcing the independence of the judiciary. The reform strategy aligns perfectly with our ongoing efforts to implement technology-driven case management systems, enhance judicial training, and ensure the prompt resolution of cases. These reforms are essential not only to reduce delays, but to restore public confidence in our courts. We are also particularly pleased to note that the reform strategy places emphasis on the protection of vulnerable groups, including women, children, and persons with disabilities. Sierra Leone's commitment to inclusive justice cannot be overemphasized. These reforms will further ensure that operate and align with international human rights standards. I wish to commend the leadership of His Excellency for championing this reform. Your unwavering commitment to the rule of law is evident, and this strategy is yet another testament to your dedication to building a just and equitable society. We also recognize the invaluable contributions of our development partners, civil society, and all stakeholders who have worked tirelessly to bring this reform strategy to life. The launch of this reform strategy is only the beginning. The real task, emphasis is mine, lies in its implementation. as members of the Judiciary, we are fully committed to ensuring that the principles enshrined in this strategy are translated into concrete actions that will improve the quality of justice delivered to our citizens. We remain steadfast in our mission to uphold the rule of law, to act with impartiality and integrity, and to administer justice without fear of failure. In closing, allow me to reiterate the words of the acting Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Nicholas Brown. I quote, "Justice is the foundation upon which a strong and prosperous nation is built. Let us all, as citizens of Sierra Leone, work together to ensure that this foundation remains firm, so that future generations can inherit a nation where justice reigns supreme." Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, the Acting Chief Justice, speaking in place of the Acting Chief Justice. Yes, we agree with you that the real task lies in the implementation of the strategy itself. And that is why we have been very deliberate in ensuring that this process is owned by various ministries and sector institutions. And as I did note during my opening remarks, the consultation process actually included bringing various ministries and sector institutions together, because we see this as a one government approach and something that various actors will take ownership for. And as we move on with this work in ensuring that there was that coordination at the highest level, that process itself was managed by the Chief Minister, who chaired the leadership meetings for the validation of the strategy. And so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on the Chief Minister.
Thank you. His Excellency the President, the acting Chief Justice, the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Minister of Planning, the UN Resident Coordinator, members of Parliament, colleague cabinet ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, civil society, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm here to speak as the Chief Operating Officer of Government, and as Chief Minister, I primarily support His Excellency by driving delivery across government. While the AG will deep dive into the specifics of the strategy in a moment, Your Excellency, please allow me to situate my presentation on two pillars. One is the one government pillar, and the other one is performance delivery. On one government, we coordinate, collaborate, cooperate on delivery. And as evidenced from the chairman's opening statement, this process has been highly inclusive, participatory, and citizens-driven. But if you look at the Big Five, you will see that one of the items in the Big Five was reform of the public sector. But because of our approach in governance and with His Excellency's leadership, when we speak about it, although it's impossible to go and edit every document and add just the sector, we want to tell you that the reform of the public and justice sector is part of our Big Five. That dynamic and responsiveness of government only emerges when we collaborate with one government principles. And I also want to note that while this strategy is the 5th generation, as we've been told, this is much more synchronized with our National Development Plan and the SDG Vision 2030. With one government principles, we don't say because the president's government term is from this time to 2028, we must have the strategy be 2028. So I do want to commend the sector for being responsive to this. The second thing I want to highlight is on performance delivery. You know, most people have 100-day plans. But I remember when I was appointed Chief Minister and I went to His Excellency, I think I had a 1-week delivery plan. And on that 1-week delivery plan was the new Criminal Procedural Act and on this justice sector strategy. And I remember coming out of my office and calling the CJ at the time, the EG, and his team, and around my conference table told them that His Excellency had asked that this justice sector strategy and the CPA should be on their 100-day delivery plan and their performance tracker. I probably told them, the Excellency, that this came with Odona, which is the language that you usually speak about. And on the CPA, Nagebo starts for 10, 20 years. And because you have told us that Odona they knew that we had to be in their 100-day delivery performance tracker. On my way here, the AG reminded me that because performance tracking is now a public phenomenon, he said that he hopes and expects that he will have an A+ on his performance tracking because of his deliveries. With these ongoing reforms and the speed and quality with which they are doing it, the Excellency, I would like to use this opportunity to tell the AG that his midterm performance is A. We encourage the sector to keep working on this because there's still the rest of the year, and we hope that they will end up as an A. On a personal level, Your Excellency, and on the principles you and I engage in all the time, we speak about moving towards a more just society. And today, this will help. The new CPA, which you will sign, which you have championed, gives me and all the people of Sierra Leone hope. Hope that together we will deliver a more just Sierra Leone. I would like to use this opportunity to, on behalf of my colleagues in government, thank the justice sector for the phenomenal work that they've done for us to get to where we are. And we will continue in our goal of delivery, which is very public, and a commitment to the people of this country that we will have more justice under your leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Minister. I remember those early discussions, and when the President himself said, when we put this strategy together, that we should be ambitious. He said, be ambitious, but be realistic. And he said, let's not raise unrealistic expectations. Like a former well-knowledge leader who, after the Americans went to the moon, he said we should also go to the sun. And he was reminded that that would be too hot and people will die. He said, I don't want to go there at night. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so this process has actually been led by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, who several engagements with the technical working group putting this together. And of note is that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice supervises several justice sector institutions. As I mentioned earlier, this is housed, this process has been housed within the Justice Sector Coordination Office. But then we also have other institutions, the Legal Board, and the Human Rights Commission, Sierra Leone, the Office of Enforcement, the Sierra Law School, the Office of Administrator and Registrar General. And we like to say, for cash value, the ACC, independence, as part of the justice sector, and so the ACC has also been really involved in this process. And for these institutions, really, I'd like to note that with His Excellency's leadership, our investments in delivering justice for the people has been on steady increase. And I would really like to note the phenomenal work that has been done by the Legal Board in providing legal advice, assistance, and representation to various people across the country. And I'd really like to note specifically a recent report that was published by the Open Data Institute, a UK-based think tank, that did an assessment of investments in access to justice across the African continent. And in that report, they actually rated Sierra Leone's investments as a gold standard. Really did note that the investment in providing access to justice to people has been on a steady increase in this country, and noting that in the past year, between 2023 and now, under His Excellency's leadership, through the legal aid board, government provided legal advice, assistance, and representation to over 160,000 people in this country. And of course, you will note that other institutions like the Human Rights Commission, etc., also provide legal service through mediation and human rights advice to constituents in the country. But really noting just in the context of the legal aid board, reaching over 160,000 people in the past year. To put that in perspective, in 2015, that number was at 5,000. So that has been a significant increase. And really noting also that government has done this at the cost average, as an average cost of $11 per person. While noting that the benchmark, the ODI benchmark actually per person globally is $20. So Sierra Leone has been able to do it at $11 per person. So there's a need for us to scale up and be able to impact more people. And that is why I also like to note that Sierra Leone is a proud member of the Justice Action Coalition, which is a multi-stakeholder, high-ambition coalition of 21 countries and 18 organizations championing equal access to justice for all. It is guided by the ambition to close the global justice gap and achieve measurable progress in justice outcomes for people and communities by 2030 and beyond. And we have a work stream in the coalition on justice financing, which aims to address these challenges with the justice financing framework. Sierra Leone is a founding board member along with the United States, Canada, the Netherlands, and Germany. So we're proud to be the only African country that serves on the board of the Justice Action Coalition that is really looking at closing the justice gap across the world. And this is really down to His Excellency's leadership, noting that, as he has repeatedly said, in the context of Sierra Leone's membership of the United Nations Security Council and its leadership in global education, that we all live in the spirit of Ubuntu, which means that out of that it means that I am who I am because of who we are. It's really boils down to our concern for other people with whom we live in this global space. And I'd also like to note that on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, Sierra Leone will co-sponsor a side event together with the Netherlands, Canada, USA, Pathfinders for Justice, Pathfinders for Peace, Just and Inclusive Societies, and other actors, where we'll discuss moving towards the financing framework for people-centered justice. So our goal is to really draw from the inspiration our goal is to draw inspiration from health and education sectors, for which government has made significant investment. Like I said, down to His Excellency's leadership, but really driven by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice who supervise these various institutions that deliver on this commitment that government makes. And so it is on that light, and it is on that note that I call on the Attorney General and Minister of Justice to present the Justice Secretary.
His Excellency President, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, my Lord, the representative of the acting Chief Justice, the Chief Minister, Minister of Government, my lords, my colleagues, the UN Resident Coordinator, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, and most importantly, the government business. Your Excellency, sir, I'm pleased to present to you today the Government of the Republic of Sierra Leone strategic plan for the justice sector reform. Your Excellency, as you have tasked us with thinking ambitiously, working collaboratively, and investing in reforms that will endure beyond our tenure in government, you specifically highlighted the need to reform Sierra Leone's justice sector to align with the evolving global justice platforms and address gaps in the justice sector in Sierra Leone. The strategy we present to be the result of those directives. My office is proud to have translated your vision into an actionable and implementable strategy that will deliver justice for the people of this country. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the strategy we have developed is rooted in the government of Sierra Leone's new direction policy, which aims to uphold the judiciary and the justice delivery system. This initiative seeks to restore public confidence in the independence and impartiality of our justice system and to ensure that justice is accessible and available to all. This broad vision has guided the development of our strategy. The primary objective of the strategic plan is to enhance service delivery in the justice sector, ensuring that justice is fair, impartial, and effective for everyone in Sierra Leone. In order to meet this goal, 4 specific objectives have been developed. Firstly, to increase equal access to justice for all through a people-centered approach. In addition, improve case management and expedited justice delivery. Also, to enhance adherence to human rights and rule of law. Ultimately, to strengthen capacity for improved service delivery of sector institutions. These objectives have been further fragmented into key policy areas and activities to ensure that they're effectively implemented. And these are to make justice sector facilities, structured institutions widely available to citizens, to expand legal aid, especially in hard-to-reach areas, to expand the reach of the Office of the Ombudsman and Independent Police Complaints Board, to support the work of non-state actors who provide access to justice service in civil, criminal, and family matters, to modernize and digitize case management in the justice system, to review and update procedural structure and procedures, to reform the police and correctional service architecture, to reform the juvenile justice system, mainstream gender in the justice delivery process, review outdated laws and make them more suited for modern-day society, to embark on robust capacity building across the justice cadre. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, upon reviewing this strategy in detail, you might find this quite ambitious. That is why we have developed a comprehensive implementation plan to support the same. Sir, it is now time for us to act. Let us work together, lawmakers, citizens, and actors, to push for justice sector that ensure fairness and dignity for all. Our future as a nation depends on it. His Excellency, sir, join me. Permit me on behalf of the entire justice sector, allow me to express our profound gratitude to you, His Excellency, for your visionary leadership and steadfast commitment to legal reforms. Your dedication to modernizing the criminal justice system and ensuring the reforms aligned with international best practice will positively impact the lives of all citizens, especially ensuring that justice is accessible, transparent, and efficient. A special thank you goes to the various development partners, our CSOs, and other stakeholders who have supported us along this journey. Your technical expertise, resources, and commitment to justice reform have been instrumental in bringing this vision to fruition. To my colleagues and the officers, departments, the judiciary, the law enforcement agencies, and all justice sector actors who have been entrusted with the task of implementing and ensuring effective operation of the new Criminal Procedure Act. I have no doubt that with your professionalism, dedication, and collaboration will rise to the challenge to the promises these reforms hold. Your Excellency, sir, with your influence, sir, it is our collaborative honor to present to you the Justice Sector Reform Strategy for Sierra Leone.
Thank you to the Learned Attorney General and Minister of Justice for those remarks and for your leadership. Thank you again, Your Excellency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose for which we are here is to get His Excellency to launch the Justice Sector Reform Strategy. And of course, you know, a lot has been said already about His Excellency's vision for the justice sector, of how we deliver justice. And really, you know, as we continue to look how we ensure that people are at the center of our justice delivery process. So from that note, I now invite our leader, His Excellency,
Apart from the introduction, I'm not a language man. And I grew up at everyone. I love the acting chief. Acting chief. My lords and my ladies, justices of the Superior Court of Agriculture, Australia, my Learned Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, ministers and deputy ministers of government, the United Nations resident coordinator, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, civil society partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I don't know for you, but I am delighted to be a part of this historic moment in our nation's journey as we unveil the Sierra Leone Justice Sector Reform Strategy today. This launch is not just a milestone, but a significant step towards a more just and equitable Sierra Leone. Today's event is a resounding declaration of my government's unwavering commitment to the rule of law, the protection of human rights, and the promotion of justice for all Sierra Leoneans. This commitment is not just a promise, but a guiding principle that will shape our actions going forward.
justice is not just a concept, but a cornerstone of stability and development in any society. A fair and accessible justice system is the bedrock upon which we can build trust in our institutions, foster social cohesion, and ensure that every citizen, regardless of their background, enjoys the protection under the law. Ladies and gentlemen, the compelling variety of my government's new direction agenda, upon which I won the first term mandate, is a strong commitment to advancing the rule of law and promoting justice and human rights. We have translated this bold vision first into one of the pillars of the big 5 agenda, reform of the public sector, as the Chief Minister elaborated earlier. And then the Industrial Medium-Term National Development, which seeks to ensure that all citizens benefit from a fair, impartial, and effective justice sector through enabling increased access to justice, expedition of justice, protection of human rights, and new opportunities for economic development. Over the years, as has been said, our justice sector has faced numerous challenges, from limited resources to systematic inefficiency and the backlog of cases that have denied many Sierra the swift and fair justice they deserve. These challenges have underscored the urgent need for comprehensive reform, and today we are taking the bold steps towards addressing them. The justice sector reform strategy launched today is a product of extensive consultation with stakeholders, as was explained by our civil society partners. It outlines clear objectives and actionable steps to transform our justice system into one that is more efficient, transparent, and responsive to the people's needs. At the heart of this strategy is the principle of inclusivity. We believe that citizens should be treated fairly and equally in criminal and civil proceedings, and we are committed to narrowing or even eliminating the gap between rich and poor by assisting those who cannot afford the cost of formal legal processes. For our justice system to be truly effective, it must be accessible to all, regardless of gender, socioeconomic status, or geographic location. We are committed to eliminating barriers that have historically prevented marginalized communities from accessing justice and ensuring that our laws and legal processes are fair and equitable. We are also committed to accountability. Our justice system must be beyond reproach. This means enhancing oversight mechanisms, improving the capacity of our judicial officers, and ensuring that corruption has no place in our house. Your confidence in our system is our utmost priority. The integrity of our justice system is non-negotiable, and we will work tirelessly to maintain them. The integrity of our justice system is non-negotiable, and we will work tirelessly to maintain public's confidence in its ability to deliver justice impartially. Furthermore, this strategy underscores the importance of collaboration. The challenges we face in reforming our justice sector cannot be addressed by the government alone. We must continue to collaborate with our international partners, civil society, and all stakeholders. Your involvement is crucial to ensuring that our reforms are effective and sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, with this launch today, my government is providing a proper framework for implementing the reform that began when I assumed office in 2018. We have made significant strides, of course, by introducing legislative and other sustainable measures to strengthen the justice delivery process in Nigeria. This progress should give us hope for the future. Part of our reform agenda includes decriminalizing poverty by expunging laws that indiscriminately affect poor and marginalized communities. The Criminal Procedures Act of 2024, which I have signed already, I did say I was signing it for COVID in India, and I signed it yesterday. So the time that I was going to sign it here is not going to work. The Act, which replaces the Criminal Procedures Act of 1965, when most of you are not yet born, reduces the time that the case takes within the criminal justice system, introduces suspended sentencing for certain kinds of offenses, emphasizes the rights of suspects, and provides protection for vulnerable witnesses who take part in criminal justice processes, including children, persons with disabilities, and victims of sexual and gender-based violence. In alignment with our unwavering commitment to the rule of law, my government has taken significant steps. We have abolished the death penalty, repealed the criminal libel law, and introduced land laws that empower communities, particularly women, by giving them decision-making power. We have also enacted the Judiciary Act, covering our dedication to gender equality and women's empowerment. As part of our justice reform, we are strengthening and capacitating the legal aid force. This will enable it to continue providing crucial legal aid services to disadvantaged and vulnerable citizens, especially in communities with very few legal practitioners. The board's role is vital in ensuring that all citizens, regardless of their socioeconomic status, have access to justice. We are establishing alternative dispute resolution centers across the region to ensure that justice can be swift and affordably suspended. This initiative is a testament to our commitment to providing accessible justice for all. Predictable and informal justice dispute settlement mechanisms give us another option for granting people speedy access to justice, especially for cases that clog the formal justice system, such as family and neighbor-related conflicts, debt settlement, and consumer-related cases, and most land and property rights cases. This is also part of our effort to reduce poverty. Some people are locked up at whatever for chicken, stolen chicken, they are good. My government is working tirelessly to improve the presence of formal justice structures, magistrate courts, local courts, police stations, and all other accountability supporting institutions right across the region. This will help prevent undue delays in proceedings and overcrowding of detention centers, ensuring that a more efficient and effective justice system is in place. In our ongoing efforts to reform the Syrian police, we are placing a greater emphasis on community policing. This approach is designed to enhance local justice delivery and legal aid, fostering a sense of security and support within our communities. We are investing in the digitalization of the justice sector as part of our effort to ensure efficient and transparent justice delivery. We are also working on concluding the constitutional review process, which has been ongoing for over 20 years and has spanned the life of 3 governments. It will not span mine. So, ladies and gentlemen, assisted justice has been more glaringly crucial to the accomplishments of the Millennium Development Goals, and it remains a crucial part of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. 24 years into the 21st century, we have seen and heard about the lack of access to justice and its attendant consequences all over the world. But we have also seen how concrete policy actions to access justice have transformed societies and consolidated peace, stability, security, and development. Sierra Leone is a concrete example. Therefore, my government's continued commitment to creating a relevant, enabling environment for access to justice for all is a choice, and it's a compelling obligation to promote and protect human rights, the rule of law, and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of the justice sector reform strategy is just the beginning. The real work starts after. The collective will of all Syrians is required to see these reforms through to fruition. We must all contribute to building a justice system that serves the people, protects their rights, and upholds the rule of law. Only then will we have a truly strong and prosperous nation. The former Prime Minister, the former and late Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Meles Zenawi, was so succinct, and I quote, "The rule of law and justice is the basis of any democracy. And without the rule of law in the democracy, you have chaos." End of quote. I therefore call on all stakeholders to join us in building a strong and vibrant Sierra Leone anchored on justice and the rule of law. On this note, it is now my pleasure to officially launch the government of Sierra Leone Justice 2024-25. And my sincere gratitude goes to everyone involved in the development of this progressive structure. In God bless freedom and unity, freedom, justice, reign in spirit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for launching government of Sierra Leone Justice Sector Reform Strategy. and also for the information of that the Criminal Procedure Act 2024 has been signed into law. As noted, this now officially replaces the Criminal Procedure Act of 1965. Noted, the review process that has gone on for over 20 years has been brought to conclusion. And this is what will lead on to review or reform of the laws in this country. I'd also like to note that now that the strategy is launched, there are several copies around which will be distributed, so we can all start reading through it. And also, ready to note the agency leadership as well as the other members of senior leadership team in the Office of the Attorney General, the Secretary Solicitor General, GDP, the crucial role played by the Secretary of President in his previous life as advisor, global advisor in this process. And of course, shout out to the amazing team in the Ministry of Justice putting this together, as well as the Justice Sector Coordination Office. Of those who rejected it moved out, you will see the Justice Sector institutions lined out there. Please feel free to check them out, ask questions, make comments, etc., etc. And it is on that note that I wish to thank you for the opportunity to walk you through this program and to now hand this over to the person that I say, speaks the President's mind, the Press Secretary to the President, Mr. Yusuf Kekesuma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Executive President and all our guests, a lot of applause to Mr. Alpha sharing the program. Distinguished guests, in demonstration of His Excellency's two delights of the launch, he has consented for photo sessions. They will be conducted in the following manner. We will have 3 photo sessions. The first will be His Excellency the President and members of the High Table. The second will be His Excellency the President, the Chief Minister, and the senior leadership of the Office of the Attorney General, specifically the Attorney General, the Deputy Minister of Justice, Solicitor General, and Director of Public Prosecution. And the last will be His Excellency the President and heads or representative of the supervised institutions. Legally on board, the Ombudsman who is here, the Office of the Attorney General, the Justice Sector Coordinating Office, Human Rights Commission, Sierra Law School, and I understand the anti-corruption used to be so giving an opportunity to be part of that group. And on that note, I'd like to request that we may rise for the national anthem.